right, live in Prescott, Arizona. Beautiful sunrise this morning. We'll have to ask the weather folks here what those clouds are called when the sun touches them like that. I bet there's a special word in the weather world. Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. Gina. We are happy you joined us. Time now for today's health news, sponsored by the Wellness Company. Under the microscope today, new research suggesting fatherhood may reshape men's brains in ways linked to caregiving and social connection. Scientists say becoming a dad can trigger changes in brain structure, also in hormones and cognitive function. All of this may go to support empathy and parenting behavior. Some research also links parenthood to brain connectivity patterns that may counter some age-related changes later in life. Experts say so-called dad brain isn't just a deficit, it's the brain adapting to the demands of parenting. The research is highlighted in Dad Brain, a new book by USC psychologist Darby Saxby. All right, well, I love that, especially right after Father's Day. And I think Dad Brain is a good thing. Dad bod, not so much. Dad Brain, all good. All right, the Trump administration has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality, though, there's only so much the government can do. If we really want to make America healthy again, it's going to start at home with each of us, and that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from their doctors all the time. You know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever comes your way with their prescription medical kits. These kits have an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks that assist in the use of the meds in the kits. Additionally, the Wellness Company has a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss, so much more. These can help you stay healthy and live a longer life. Make America Healthy Again starts at home. Do your part. Protect the health of yourself and your family. All right, we're going to bring in the Chief Scientific Officer of the Wellness Company, Dr. Peter McCullough. Dr. McCullough, good to have you back. Last week, we were talking about outgoing Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, releasing never-seen-before documents showing that the U.S. government has funded more than 120 dangerous biolabs across the globe, including, by the way, gain-of-function work, just as Fauci denied. Now, this week, Gabbard, on her last day, released documents showing Fauci provided millions of U.S. taxpayer dollars to the very Wuhan lab that is likely responsible for everything that happened to Americans during COVID. Talk to us about this most recent disclosure. Will we see his head roll? I am so over hearing about what he did wrong. I want to see him in orange.
Yeah, this is what's happened now. In this last set of documents, whistleblower approached Avril Haines, the director of national intelligence at the time. Remember, Avril Haines participated in Event 201. That was the Gates Foundation planning meeting for this. Haines was in on this the entire time. The whistleblower in 2021 goes to Avril Haines at DNI and says Fauci lied under oath that this was gain-of-function research all the way. And instead of referring this to Inspector General, Haines actually directed DNI attorney Christopher Fanzone to bury this with HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra, who's now running for governor of California. So this entire report that basically called Fauci out on gain-of-function research in 2021 is buried. That's prompted Senator Rand Paul to request Fauci appear before the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, a committee I've testified at multiple times. Fauci has refused, and so now he's going to be subpoenaed.
Okay, so what happens next? Give me the road to putting that man behind bars for the rest of his measly, evil life.
Well, I think the Senate also should call Avril Haines and Fanzone to circle this noose around Fauci. And then the DOJ, Todd Blanche, must assign a special counsel because of two reasons. One, internal government conflict of interest that's already been clearly delineated in this tranche of documents. And number two, huge damage to the public. Those two criteria call for a special counsel, not an inspector general or DOJ internal probe, but an external special counsel. And then Fauci should be one of several targets in that probe.
I mean, it's so easy to talk about this so clinically, as you know, doctor, but the reality is the suffering, the deaths, the loss, really an entire population of people gone forever. I think most of all, I think about those people that sat in the nursing homes and spent the rest of their lives completely alone without their relatives being able to even come see them at all. And many of them died in that state. The suffering that went on, the horrible seizures we saw, people falling. While the news media gaslighted us, doctor, and told us we weren't seeing what we were seeing. And my own dad died. So I have a really big reason, and I think a lot of Americans do, to want to see justice on some level here. But the further we get from COVID, the more people tend to forget exactly what happened, and that's human nature. In particular, we forget the role that Big Pharma played in all of this. There are a lot more people guilty here than Fauci.
So true. My wife and I lost our fathers through the pandemic as well. I saw the suffering in nursing homes. It was really firsthand. The losses are enormous. That's the reason why this can't go away. And I'm so glad to see that Real America's Voice is covering us. You know, this is just Real America's Voice and Fox Business. That's it. Do you know that ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, no coverage of the Tulsi Gabbard document release whatsoever?
Well, then there's a special place in hell for the people that made those decisions. I'm quite sure, because the level of human suffering, not just from COVID, but from the jab that killed my dad, killed a lot of people, is still killing people to this day with all the turbo cancers and everything else that you battle every single day. It's unforgivable. I don't know that there's ever been a crime this massive carried out on a world population, but there has got to be some justice. And thank you for being at the forefront of that, Dr. Peter McCullough.
Thank you.
All right, we're back in a moment, but first, here's a special message from Rav's own Eric Bowling, set to be in Nashville this Friday at the legendary bar that I love too. Where is my invitation? The Redneck Riviera. Spots are limited, so scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen to reserve a seat, and here's a little preview.
In just a few days, on June 26th, we're in Nashville, Tennessee. We're cranking up the Main Street Summer Series to 11. I'm Eric Bowling, ex-pro ball player, Wall Street Warrior, host of Bowling right here on Real America's Voice, and the guy who built the edge from the ashes. Teaming up with the legend himself, John Rich. No guitar, just raw truth. It's all going down June 26th at John's hot country bar called Redneck Riviera. We're celebrating 250 years of the greatest experiment in human freedom the world has ever seen. Liberty that built empires, crushes tyrants, and still pisses off every globalist control freak on the planet. Sold out last time at the Villages. This one's going to be standing room only, guarantee it. So if you love this country and you're ready to stand shoulder to shoulder with real Americans who still believe in God, guns, and guts, get your ticket for Rav's Main Street America. Scan that QR code on the poster right now. Lock in your seat before they're gone. Real America's Voice, Main Street Summer Series, Nashville, Tennessee, where freedom gets loud. See you there, or stay soft.